Hello, beautiful souls. Hello and welcome. Welcome to this Tuesday live stream. Oh my goodness. So normally I go live doing body scans and readings, and that will be for next week. But this week I have the honor of interviewing, of connecting, of sharing with you all the wonderful, radiant, some of you may already know her, Melissa Virtue. So I'm going to invite Melissa to join right away. I'm going to do. And oh, I see she's live already. Well, hi. Hi, friend.
Hi,
How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so funny doing this on Instagram because we're like kind of like one's up here, one's down there. I'm like, wait, where are you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Hello to
I'm gonna
everybody
adjust my seat. There we
joining.
go.
Yeah, do what you need to do. I'm just going to say hi to everyone joining. We've got Fancy Nancy, we've got Davina Bino, Kyun Val. Oh my gosh, you guys have just got the best handles and the best names, but like Instagram always squishes them together and I never know how to kind of like, do you have the same thing? Oh my gosh. Do you like your title, the introduction?
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Hello, hello, everybody. Davina says hello in capital letters.
I saw. Hello, Davina.
Oh, we love you all so much. So, I've got the honor of being here with Melissa Virtue. So, I'm gonna let you do an introduction to yourself in just a moment. But what well, first, I'm just gonna kind of shift a couple of, there we go, comments on there. So I just want to say, okay, so some of you have read the title that we've got going on here. We've got mystery schools, we've got lucid dreaming, because Melissa has spent a very large portion of her life being this wonderful alchemist of dreams, reminding people how to create and heal and shift through all the dimensions of the world. And her knowledge base, her wisdom is just so vast and her vibrations so pure. And I know that for anyone that already knows Melissa, you already know this, which is why you're here. And if you don't, just pop onto her Instagram, give her a like, and start following her because I'm going to guarantee that you will adore the content that she is putting out there. So, so I just want to say that. But Melissa, how are you? How are you?
Radiant. How are you?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh my gosh. Yes, you
Oh,
are. Oh, goodness me. So we are here for just short of an hour, and I'm so excited to just wonder what we're going to talk about, right?
hello, everyone. Yes, exactly. What will arrive? What will drop in?
What will
It's
arrive?
always exciting. It's always exciting having a conversation.
Abs
It's nice to
Absolutely.
see everyone coming in. Yeah.
I know, you know what? It's funny because I do find the comments sometimes distracting. I just want to wave at everyone, and then I'm like, oh no, wait,
Hmm.
let's be present here right now. Let's just do this. We will return to the comments. We'll say hi to everyone, and we'll answer questions as we go through. We're going to be talking about a few different things here, but I just want to also say as well. We are here at a very, very wonderful time because we're in a wonderful alignment right now, aren't we, Melissa, with the gorgeous Pleiadians, and yeah, and I bring that in because I know, like, when I first connected with you, I felt such a resonance with you from that Pleiadian rose, that Pleiadian vibration. Um, I would love to hear, and I'm sure everyone would love to hear, your interpretation of star beings, of multidimensionality, whichever way you want to go with this. But I would love to hear what you want to say about that, if you want to share. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. I think we all come in, and that's where I'm going to start is as children. We all come in knowing this truth that we are multidimensional beings and that we are love, born from love. We came from love, we'll return to love. We are love. And so that's actually how I see multidimensional beings, ourselves in these different, some people might describe it as different planes of existence, different planets, dimensions, lifetimes. We are vast. We are the cosmos. We are source. We came from source. We actually never left source. And so in dream time, we can really get out of our own way and as a child, when the parents or other influences start telling us how to behave, how to believe, what to see. People don't see that. People don't hear that. People don't talk about that. Then children start turning down their innate knowingness, truth. And so I used to ask my parents, I mean, I remember at a very early age, I think it was about 3 years old, and then I would always talk about it with my parents about, you know, the people that live on the other planets, the people that I hear, the people I can see, the people I feel around me. And I never really made a distinction. I didn't know the word, honestly, angel, until, you know, I was older. But I never made a distinction. They were beings to me, and they all came from the cosmos, all of them. You know, the fairies, the animals, I could hear them, and the elementals I know come from the earth and deep within her. So yeah, I had this whole unicorn, dragon, fairy, star being, and to me they're all beings of love. It doesn't matter really how we categorize them. You know, just remembering that some of them sit in fear, some of them sit in love, you know, and we're all going through these learning schools and these understandings to evolve and return to that truth. So the Pleiadians have always been, once I discovered their name, because there were star clusters I would always look at, and that was one. And I have, here I go, I'm going to say something really personal, so if you don't want to hear it,
we always want to hear it. We always want to hear it.
Well, it can't be hidden, but I have this ginormous birthmark. And it's what I used to call the mothership when I was young. And people would ask me, what is that? And I say, the mothership. You know, it's right on my hip. So you can't hide it with a bathing suit. And
I love that so much.
But it is this, yeah, it is this, I've always felt like it was them telling me, don't forget, we gave you this kiss of love so you can remember. And I feel like we all have these, you know, embeddings, and now we call them light codes and codings and all of this. And you might find them physically on your body like I do. Have some physical, you know, remembrances on my body so I can remember. But the Pleiadians are just, to go back to that and to finish that question, they are pow, and they're us, we are them.
Yeah.
And I could really get into the either quantum physics of it or just the heart place and the heart places. Just to keep it simple, we're us. We're us, we're them, they're us. You know what I mean? We're both one and the same.
I love that so much. And we've got a comment here from Stacy saying, funny, I have a big birthmark too, right on my bottom.
Big birthmarks, yeah.
They show up in the best places. I remember someone pointing out once that like everyone seems to have these like 3 birthmarks on their arm, and it's just like 3 little dots that always seem to be in alignment somewhere on your arm. And I look for them now and I can't find them, but I remember. Oh, there they go, on this arm. But then I remember like looking at the time that someone posted that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have those too. And it's like, I wonder how many people that are watching this call have like 3 dots in a row on their forearm, because that'll be really fascinating too. But yeah, those kisses, I love that. I love how you describe that, those kisses. It's like those kisses of remembrance from source, you know, reminding us, kind of like breadcrumbs, right, leading us back to that heart space. And just the way that you share and articulate, and you know, because you and I we could talk for hours on end about vibration and how we all interpret that. And what I love about you, Melissa, is the way that you do express the vibration that you feel and interpret it. It's done in such a way that, you know, you can just feel the wholeness there and the oneness and the connection of that. Right, and it emanates from you, and it's so wonderful because, you know, you spoke about light codes. Yes, we all have these light codes within us, and you know, everyone has their own divine timing of remembering that as well, that own blossoming. You know, what do you think about that? Because that timing is a big thing, you know, in the world today. Hey,
it is a big thing in the world today, and I think honestly, you know, we all have our own perspectives. And our perspectives are where we need to be right now. It's reflecting back to us this beautiful place of where we are, so we know how we need to move forward, be silent and still, cocoon in that chrysalis, or emerge and move forward into action time and blossoming. So we all have different perspective of where we are, and it's really challenging, I think, at times, not to feel like that people are ahead, we're behind, someone else is more gifted than another person. I don't believe any of that. I feel like we each individually are right on our path, exactly where we need to be. And I truly do believe in divine timing, because our highest self is guiding us always.
Yeah.
And that's just, we can get into oversoul and all of that kind of thing. But just to keep it simple, our heart is guiding us. It is our compass. And just listening to our heart and asking ourselves, what is it I need to do right now, today, in this moment? And being present, I feel, is the most powerful place to be, is present in the moment. Because then we really are inhaling that breath of life and exhaling that breath of life. We are creative right here, right now. Not planning ahead, not, thinking back. And it's good to take silence in the cocoon to think. But I think everybody has their own medicine, their own magic that is unique to them. We each are that. I'll say it in there are so many different words we could use, right, Alice? We could say spark, we could say flame of source,
So
we could
many
say
words.
aspect of source.
And none of them really encompass, do they? None of them really
They
kind of grasp
don't. I
it.
mean, the language, right? I know, language to me is frustrating. And it gets frustrating for me, because I feel like, not always, but I want to articulate more by expressing myself in a language that we can all feel. And I just want to sing my heart to people. I just want to stand there and, because words don't quite do it sometimes. But
so what I love, you guys, about what Melissa's saying here is that, she's talking about language and things like that. So many of us are starting to remember wonderful vibrational gifts, right? Such as telepathy, How do you find that is gonna really help with that articulation? Because I agree, language can be frustrating. We wanna say something, and then we realize, oh no, wait, has that been interpreted how I wanted to express that? Has that been received how I intended to give it? Kind of what's going on there. There can be a little bit too much mind, and a lot of tongue tying. But that when it comes from that heart space, because you speak so beautifully of that heart portal and the presence. And I want to go back to so many things that you're saying, but I'm like, okay, right here, we're just at this point. So tell me about your experiences, if you will, if you would like to, about communication through telepathy. What is that for you, and how do you utilize that?
So for me, telepathy, it's a great question. And I, again, would like to say this is my experience. And I like to use the beginner mind. That's how I'll start. I like to use the beginner mind. And because I want to continue to open and learn and expand. And so I don't want to be stuck in a place of not listening, not feeling, not expanding. So for me, telepathy is connecting. It really is from the heart space, and it goes into the mind. And so it's what my heart wants to communicate, and it's the use of thought patterns. So my heart will rise up into my mind, and they'll connect, mind-heart connection, right, through the portal of the throat. So I'm going to back up so you can see the portal of the throat. and so not using that portal, allowing it to bypass, and using this thought process from my heart to tune in, to connect, to open. And I see it more of, instead of a drill, how we can drill screws in place, I think of it more as opening, like I'm a blossoming flower. It's going to open to receive whatever thoughts I need to receive that are for my highest good. It's going to open to the person that I would love to connect with. And if they're open, then I will hear them in my mind, and I'll be able to communicate from my heart space with my mind and my thoughts. Does that make sense? And the same back. And I always do it from my heart, because that's compassion, that's love, that's the true, for me and my experience, way of communicating and speaking.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it brings us to our truth, because you asked that question, where do you think we're going? I think we're going to where we will all, when we will all be open, blossom to our telepathic communication in a way that nobody needs to hide. We won't feel like we need to hide. No masks, no facades.
Yeah.
You know, it's all from the heart. We'll all hear. So there's no hiding. There's no need to feel in fear of who we truly are, you know, because we're love, right? And it's okay to express our unique selves. And so this is what I think telepathy can do, is bring this gift of true expression in that way.
Absolutely. And I love, what you said there about that, no facade, right? Because, I don't know about you, but I do get asked about telepathy quite a bit, and kind of how to communicate in that way. And I'm like, well, how honest are you with yourself, with how you're feeling, right? Are you trying to hide any part of yourself? Because if so, there can be this energetic kind of cloudiness around as well, which is like, trying to send a message to someone through that cloud. It's going to kind of warp around a little bit, right? And same with the message coming in, you know? But I loved your description there, and I'm just going to circle back to it of, you let your heart communicate with your mind and bring the mind down to the heart, and then you're working through that gorgeous portal of the throat chakra as well, which is in the middle. I see it when you were describing that as like this beautiful infinity symbol, this figure 8. That's how I was seeing it, and then it was kind of like broadcasting out and drawing back in, and it was just beautiful to behold. I'm going to ask people that are watching as well, have you experienced, like, what's your experience of telepathy, whether that is literally thinking about someone and they've just, jumped on a live stream, as one of my gorgeous friends has done here at the point of talking about telepathy, or whether it is, thinking of a friend and they've messaged you or something like that. Let's hear in the comments. I want to see as we continue this really fun discussion.
And I do think that's a good way to say it. It does go all ways. You can think of someone, and that's a telepathic connection. You can actually have a conversation with someone, and it did start, of thinking of people, and then it comes up, but now, as Ellis knows, there's this, I have, with certain people, I can have telepathic conversations, and it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. And do you find as well, just kind of linking back out to how we got here, is that because of that form of communication, because of the integrity of it, and because it isn't being interpreted through an articulation or verbatim or anything like that, it is much more, the vibration speaks clearer, right, than any language could articulate, right?
Well, right, exactly. Because think about it, when someone is standing in front of you and they're saying something to you, but their body isn't saying the same thing. That's what we call body language. And to me, body language really is vibrational, right? Because we're holding our musculature is holding our cells, and it's informing our musculature. It's informing the way that we're posturing. Our vibration, our body is dancing constantly, even if we're still. So it's informing the way we're holding ourselves. That's vibration and frequency, and people can feel that, read that, know that. Like, okay, something's not matching here. So yes, it's more of a true, I feel like I have to watch my words, but it's more of a way of expressing that is more, like you said, with frequency and integrity with the frequency in this way, because you can't cover that up.
No, you cannot. I want to circle back to something that you said just a few minutes earlier, if it's okay, just because there is a phrase that you used, a very sacred, an ancient thing, for lack of a better word, a technique. I don't know what to say here, but just because I know that people will have heard this a lot, and I want to hear how you want to share and explain this. But the breath of life, you said. What is the breath of life? What is that?
Wow, that's a big question.
Isn't it?
Okay. So, let's see. Let me see. Okay. I will today, in this moment, being present with everyone here, describe it in this way. Catch me tomorrow. I may describe it a different way. So, because that's it, isn't it? It's light, it's love, it is creation. And we're constantly creating and weaving and recreating and creating anew. I mean, our bodies do this all the time with the cells as we sleep. We regenerate our bodies every night. And so when I think of the breath of life, which we can say it's like an onion or a flower. It has many multi-layers that we can talk about. But the key of it for me right now in this moment is that it is creation. So every vibration that's coming through this portal right here from my heart's rising up and it's coming into this gateway, this star portal to me, my throat. And I'm intoning as I'm speaking. And as I inhale, I'm inhaling the quantum fabric around me, quantum light. And so I'm intaking this light and I'm vibrating this light out from my heart, from my body, from my cells, from my speaking. And so to me, the breath of life is this creation. It's light, it's love that is dancing and weaving and reweaving and creating. It's nourishment. And we nourish ourselves with breath. But see, the breath that the scientists call oxygen, to me, is light. It's light from the sun. It's light from our hearts. It's source light. It's Pleiadian light. It's Christed light. It's the earth's light. It's medicine. And that's probably the simplest way I can say it right now without continuing to make a distinction over it.
And no, but I love that because it is light, it is love, it is frequency, right? And there are some that say that on the breath, on the waves of breath, right, or on the flow of breath travels God, our source, right? Yes. And just to bring it back to what you said about when we sleep at night, we're breathing, our physical conscious body, right, that's asleep, right? The lower ego is asleep, all that's asleep. And what we're doing, we're in bed for, however many hours we're in bed for. And the only thing we're really physically doing is breathing. So the only thing that's entering and exiting, merging with our body, really is that air around us, that inspiration of source, or however we choose to call it, feel it,
Yeah.
But yeah, there are so many references, hey, to breath of life.
And, so many. And I just, again, it's source. It's source. And that's what we're doing. We're intaking it and exhaling it, intaking it and reweaving as we do it. And,
And when you take that breath as well down, like you were just saying, you take it through past that. I think you call this like a Stargate portal here.
I did.
I love that. We're going to talk about that in a sec.
Oh, okay.
But you take it down past this Stargate portal into the multidimensional aspect of your heart space, that gateway to source. And then as soon as you connect it, for me personally, how I experience is as soon as you connect that breath deeper past into the heart, going through that and intentionally connecting and going down, then bringing it through your body, that's what shifts it from being just something that we unconsciously do as a body, just like in, out, only really going down to here with our breath, to actually, taking it all the way down through our body and then really being able to move that source light to where it needs to go with such intention and integrity, Tell me about this. Tell me about this, the
the portal, the star portal.
The star portal. You got a stargate on your hip. You got a portal in your throat. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Right.
Look at this.
Well, I don't know if we all have the mothership on our hip, but we all have this.
I have the Bermuda Triangle on my belly.
Oh, I could say. Yeah. I want So uh, again, my perspective, my belief, my today in this moment in time, this is so powerful. This gateway, it is a portal, a star portal to me. Again, we're talking about source. Everything that we're talking about is source, right? It's creation. And when I say the word creation, I always think of divine love and light. That's what I mean when I say creation. I mean divine love and light. Some people might call it God, goddess, great union, the one true heart. It is love and light, divine source. So here, this is connected to it. It's our bridge, right? Like our spine connects this area and all of this energy coming in. Yeah, I'm going to use movement and our heart space. Okay. And so we create medicine. Sound heals, sound creates, sound transmutes, sound vibrates. It is light, it is frequency, it is movement. And I just don't think we can really, in my opinion, I don't think we can unweave them. They're all the same in that way. They're all so interconnected: movement, light, sound, vibration, frequency. And because really, I mean, if we think about it, I know I'm getting off. I'll go back to this though.
You're not getting off topic at all. Carry on. It's all sacred and perfect.
Okay, because to me, our bodies are light dense light, right? And we're just, a lot of people will say matter or, flesh. Flesh to me is dense light. And so we're this dense light. And so this was once connected, as many people know anatomically, to our womb and our womb. So this is a womb to me. And this connects because of where it is on our body as well. It connects to the cosmos, the great womb of the cosmos. And so, again, it's like a flower. I could go into all the different petals and peeling away all the different aspects of it. But I feel that we can move through space and time in a journey, in a vision journey, in meditation, just by intoning. Yeah. Because we can shift and create the fabric, the quantum fabric around us. We are the quantum light field, right? And so by speaking, chanting, intoning, we can heal ourselves. We can change and shift the reality around us. So we can move through space and time in a vision journey, as I just said, with this area. And this is just the first petal that I'll talk about today with us. So that's just the first tip of what I think about this being a portal, a stargate.
But I really do. I love what you brought in there with with intonation and sound. And cultures have been doing this for ancient cultures have been doing this for millennia, right? And the rest is utilizing different sound. We see it now. Gong baths are coming back where external sound rather than sound coming from our throat, external sound is coming through and creating a symphony around you, and you're resonating with that and vibrating with that. And we're seeing more and more people starting to allow the expression of light language move through them as well. And for those that don't know, I've just recently had the absolute privilege of co-hosting a course. It's a recorded course called From Illusion to Love. It's a shadow integration course, and it's phenomenal. And we look at all these different aspects, but one of the things that we offer for each of the weeks is a light language transmission. And what moved me so much was when I got to see Melissa's first light language video that she offered for one of the weeks. And because most people, don't they, Melissa, they connect, usually they think light language sounds, right? It's going to sound like, it's going to come from your voice, and it's going to sound like however it's going to sound. But there are so many different aspects of light language. What is that to you? What flows through you most and usually? Because I know you do all aspects of light language, but I wanna invite you to,
Thank you.
whatever you wanna say about that, share about that.
Well, and so as the track you were going on, and that is the other aspect of this being a portal, a cosmic gateway, is because we do through all of our chakras and, into our crown down, we express. And again, that bridge comes up out and expresses the cosmic information, right? The star language, the light language from source, and other beings that are working in integrity from their heart and love for the highest good of all concerned. And so we're moving that through. So when we move it through, for me, light language is that universal language of the cosmos, of the stars, of source, that there are several different types of light language, yes, but it's all in this highest good, this that we can't, as we were talking about earlier, that we can't put into our words here on this earth plane. But people understand it. They what they do is, it's like dreaming. They move the conscious mind out of the way and it comes into their fields of being, right? And I move it through my body. And sometimes it does come up out as I'm moving, but my light language tends to first move through my body as in dancing. So I am a light dancer in that way. And then it'll rise up out of my star portal and come out of my mouth as I'm moving sometimes. And so,
I just love it so much. Sorry. Oh, Comfy Soul says you're both glowing, lovely auras. Thank you, Comfy Soul.
Thank you. So yeah, and I think that I think that everybody receives it the way that they need to receive it for their highest good. And I think that we receive it in our eyes, we receive it in our hearing, we receive it just in our field. We can close our eyes and hear it, or feel someone moving and not even see them moving, if that's how they're doing it. I feel that it can come through as movement. It can come through as sounds. It can come through as written language or drawings of symbols and paintings, and sometimes as color, right? I see it as color too. And so light language, I think we haven't even discovered all the ways it comes in. There are myriad of ways and infinite. So it's just, it's those beautiful languages, key codes, awakening us. Whoever hears it, sees it, feels it, knows it, remembers it. And that's what happens, is it awakens us to who we truly are and where we are at that time, unlocking, opening, expanding that part of ourselves that we need to step forward on our path again.
I love that. I want to just share with you a couple of comments that came through. This was a little bit back, so I'm just going to scroll up here. When we were talking about telepathy, Fancy Nancy was saying that she experiences telepathy every day, all of the above, and so much more. And as we know, absolutely. And this wonderful being, okay, hold on. It's got a great handle. Kraken Carlson, there we go. We're saying yeah, Kraken. I was like, okay, I just have to put the letters together there. I was like focusing. I was doing a meditation and you were there. Melissa, and then you were here live. So look at that, telepathy at its finest, right? Meditation, and then you popped into this wonderful person's meditation, and then you're live, right?
Yes,
isn't that wonderful?
That is it.
That is it. And something that you said before when you oh, Amanda, you often message me shortly after I think of you. I know, I hear you. I hear you. And you heard me because, I came on live and I was thinking about you just before, and boop, you found the live stream. So there you go, honey. So, we've got a question here. And are you all right to take a question right now? Because I think it's a great one. Yeah, and then we'll carry on. Davina's asking, what do our higher selves look like? Are they replicas of us?
It's an excellent question.
Isn't it?
I'll share an experience I had, and I'll answer it this way, because I think that, again, we see our higher selves, or someone will see our higher selves in the way that is need to be seen at the time, in that present moment. Yeah. I always feel like it's in the present moment, at that time. That's how it's needed. That's how we see the angelic realm. That's how we see the fae. That's how we see any behind the veils, or whatever you want to name that, call that, right? But I was in the kitchen, and I've actually never shared this before. I was in the kitchen with a very good friend of mine, and it was her kitchen, and she was sitting up on her cabinet while I was washing some of her dishes. She had beautifully cooked, and I was washing. And I remember we were just deep in conversation. And, sometimes when you're doing things like washing or repetitive motions, you get into a trance-like state, right? And so, hence chanting as well, going back to that. And so here I am washing, and I'm just answering her with what's coming, what's flowing. And I turn and look at her, and I saw such a bright, at first I thought it was the sunlight, right? Because the sun was behind her, but it wouldn't have shown her face. It would have just come this way. I couldn't see her physical form anymore. It was a light. It was this whole light. And it was bright, golden, white, and it had some coloring in it, but her eyes were so powerful. They were like portals in a way, but comforting and loving and bright and vivid. But see, that was her, and I recognized later that was her light self, her highest self. I had a glimpse of what it was showing me, of what she was showing me, and I was allowed to see at the time to help awaken me to what was going on. And it was beautiful. Did it look like her? Not her physical being. It looked like her. Okay, it looked like her, but it didn't look like her physical being. Does that make sense? So I recognized her highest self from my heart and my highest self.
You felt her.
I felt her.
Yeah.
I knew her. I recognized her. I remembered her on such a deeper level. I recognized her so much more seeing that moment that was just a glimpse. And it was so powerful. It stayed with me for so long. It almost makes me really emotional.
Yeah.
Talk about it. But I experienced it that way, is that yes, she had a resemblance of her dense light body, but wow, was she radiant. Just so much more radiant. She was almost so bright, I felt like I was squinting looking at her.
Yeah, it's like get the sunglasses on.
Yeah, it's really hard to describe, but so to answer that question, in the moment, it depends on what you show someone or how you see yourself. So
I would love, wonderful Melissa, to direct the chat a little bit towards something that you seem incredibly passionate about, so much so that you've just created this wonderful, look what I made earlier. You've just created this incredible affirmation deck for children and you've just completed you've just offered a 4-part series on your website. So, and by the way, you guys, if you are just jumping in right now, do be sure to follow Melissa, because her content is just so uplifting and pure. It's gorgeous. But Melissa, you're welcome. You've just offered this incredible 4-part series called Guardians of the New Children, and it was a gratuitous, a donation-based series, so anyone could access it. And you can go to melissavirtue.com to find that. But the things that you were speaking about, it wasn't just the children that are here right now, but it was also their parents and their guardians, such as aunties and uncles, and and people that were born from like the 1900s as well. You gave a special shout out to kind of how we've all kind of created this incredible tapestry together. But I would love to hear anything that you feel that you wish to share about the new children, or about any of that.
that stuff, yeah.
That stuff.
I love it. Thank you.
And before you do though, if you have children, if you are a guardian, I'm an auntie. I watched this because I thought I was going to learn something to help my nephews, and I found myself learning so much about myself. So regardless as to your age, you should check out that series because it was just so incredible. But sorry, Melissa, go on. Mike's back over to you.
Thank you. Oh no, I love it. Okay. Yeah, thank you for joining me with that. I really appreciate that. I want to say that first to Alice. And everyone, and I see some other people who are here that did join me as well and joined our group. So thank you so much for joining. So these new children, for lack of a better term, right? These bright lights, the return of the children of light. You know, this started entering into my consciousness, I think, like the seed was being watered when I went to Peru, even more so. And that was probably, I want to say, I know I'm like,
she's counting.
that's probably 12 years ago. But so I happened to hear this term, and it was a term I heard when I was younger, you know, from my ears. Like I heard it, you know, enter into my consciousness. Children of light, children of light. And, you know, I didn't really know what that was until I started discovering what this really is. And then since 12 years ago, I kind of started, more pieces have been coming in. And then I had a child. And then a child came, a child of light. And it's just incredible, because I was working with so many different people before I had a child, before I became a guardian, is how I'll say it. Because, you know, I think that anybody who's around children, these children have chosen us as guardians, and it's a sacred contract. It's so sacred. And these children, I'll just for ease sake say from, you know, 2010, okay, those born, primarily who I'm talking about, but we've had children since the 1900s coming in, and some even before that, a couple before that, but coming into herald to bring in the change and the shift, to allow us to evolve and grow and remember who we are, going back to that whole remembering who we are, remembering what we can do, and to create this, again, new time to ascend, evolve, whatever words you want to use with that, to blossom and open to that truth of we are love. We came from love, and we can create love, true love, you know, bring it in, heaven on earth, right? And merge that. So, and again, you can choose whatever words you want, but these children are highly psychic. They come in completely turned up, is one way to say it. They come in to share and teach and break down the old stuff and bring in the new stuff and bring in new technologies. And I'm not talking, you know, computers. I'm talking crystalline technology.
Yes.
That's what I mean by technology, not robotic. Crystalline technology and light weaving technology and, you know, different nourishments. So I feel so protective of these children and of their guardians, and want to help us all. I want us all to just be in this community of understanding how to maneuver and navigate and weave and remember how to help hold these children's vision in a healthy way for them, to help them stay true to who they are, and to help the guardians remember we must be true to ourselves. We must speak our unique song, sing our unique song, be our unique selves, stand in our power. And, you know, Cyndi Lauper, True Colors, that just pops into my head, so no judgment there.
Do you want to sing it? You want to sing it for us?
Not today. But maybe sometime.
Maybe
so,
sometime.
but it's really being you, you know, coming in with your unique gifts, standing in your power, not being afraid to say, this is me, unabashedly, and you know, touch someone when you feel like touching them, caress their cheek, hold them, you know, and these children are reminding us and teaching us more than we are them. We're just holding that space, but together, the guardians and the children, are creating the heaven on earth, helping create that.
Absolutely. And that links back to like the first thing we spoke about here when we spoke about that throat portal, that the chakra here, and we spoke about integrity and alignment of energy fields, and and all of that, because that reminded us, that's showing us, because a lot of that is subconscious, right? And we sometimes can kind of misinterpret what subconscious means. We think that we're aware of it, and subconscious is like, no, you can't think of it to know it. It's like saying, what are you great at? And I'm great at this, but subconscious is below that, right? And it's like these new children are just kind of going, what?
Like, I don't
It's like,
understand where I've just come to.
yeah. It's like, you said this, but you don't actually mean this, because I know, because your head is saying, your heart is saying something different to me. Yeah, they call it out. They, like you said, turned right up. Yeah.
They hear us, they feel us, they see through us, they can hear, feel, and sometimes it's a bombardment of energy for them, so.
But I feel like they're helping a lot, release a lot of the shame that's around. We have so much shame, don't we? We hold so much as humanity, and they're helping us go, just play, relax, play, have fun. Just like, look how beautiful this ant is. Look at it wiggle around, Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that. There's so many directions we could take this. I know we've got about, just about 10 minutes, maybe just under left. And I just want to say to everyone that's still watching, thank you so much for being tuned in all this way. If you have a question, feel welcome to ask it. We're not sure if we're going to get to every one of them, but I'm just going to put that out there. We'll see what comes up and what source will guide us, which question source will guide us to choose and to respond to. But Melissa, which way do you want to take this now? Because there are so many things that you could. So, Melissa, I've come to realize that Melissa has such a deep connection with this feminine Sophianic wisdom that she could actually talk about anything. She seems to just know so much about everything. And I don't know that you just have read every single book on the earth and kind of found your wisdom that way, because I don't think that's wisdom. Truly, I don't interpret that as wisdom. I interpret that as kind of intelligence, or human intelligence. What you seem to have is this access to cosmic wisdom, right? I wanna share with people, if you wish to talk about that. What is that? How does that arrive? How do you kind of,
That's what I do. I love that. Thank you. That's a good question.
Right?
Let me articulate. It's the articulation. Here we go. I think it's, we're talking about the subconscious and conscious mind, and it's again going to, consciously dropping, and I say dropping it, lifting up, however you want to say it, into the heart space, into my heart space, and allowing myself to open. And we all do this. That's what I want to say. We all do this. Every single person, you can do this right now. Every single person has their own unique way to do this. And I invite you to discover what yours is. And it's an ongoing process too, right? We're constantly evolving and learning how to expand more and hone it, tune it. So, but just open to the cosmic wisdom, to the great mother, to the Sophianic song is what I call it, the Sophianic song of stars. And I see it, I feel it, I hear it, and that's what I tune into, is seeing it and feeling it and hearing it and bringing it to my heart. And I let it dance. That's just the best description I can give, is move around and dance. And I invite it in. Because the great Sophia, there's a lower and higher Sophia to me. And I think many people might understand this, might know what I'm talking about, is we have the Earth Mother and we have the Cosmic Mother, but they're one and the same. And there's a lot of different ways, again, that we could talk about it. But so we have these great mothers, if you will. And so Sophia is the cosmic, the cosmos, the creation, the song of stars to me. as I'm repeating that over. I'm
It's
hitting
not,
myself in
no,
my
it's
head.
beautiful because there's a reason why you're repeating it as well, right?
Okay.
Because do you not find though, like when someone asks a
I
question,
laugh.
it's so much easier when to kind of receive that sometimes. So people kind of starting out in accessing and tapping into that innate wisdom when someone is asking them a question and when they have already centered themselves in that heart, sorry, in their heart space, you know, they the answers will drop in just like you say. You feel it, it moves
It
through
does.
you. It's like a
Yeah.
vibration that just has to kind of erupt and, you know, just articulate. And it's a process,
It is
right?
a
It's
process.
a
Yeah. And I
process.
connect to both. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. It's a
Oh,
process.
thank you.
And I root into, the earth. I always root down and feel my roots connecting to the earth, and then from there I feel like I'm exchanging energy and medicine, and anything that I receive from the cosmos goes down and anchors into the earth for her as well. And so it's this reciprocity, this communication, this sharing of love. That's how I would say it, the sharing of love. And I allow it, my womb space, my heart space, and we all have womb spaces, no matter your gender. And, we all have this place. And so I just allow it to move and dance through, and whatever needs to come in, comes in. And then I release whatever needs to be released to, and how, and when. The
I love
Sophianic
that.
Song of Stars. Sometimes I might sing to you, and sometimes I might not. You're the rare
I'm gonna
person if
listen
I've
to
sung
see.
to you.
I love your singing. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite thing. I'm gonna listen to see if telepathically I can hear you singing. I'm gonna be like, is there a telepathic song coming through?
And you know what? I want to say something's coming. I want to say, yeah, maybe. That, it's really easy to go to other people because I see that people there's someone asking a question, and here's what we all can do. We can all access this. We can access everything, anything. And it really is, I feel, through our heart space and self-love. And through self-love, we're able to love others, right? The Prophet is is a very cherished book of mine.
See, that's telepathy because I was going to ask you, what's your favorite book?
I know. No, The Prophet, and I have many favorites, but that is one of them. And then, I can swing all the way over and say something about King Arthur, but yeah, so I really, just because of some of the wisdom, I love Rumi, and, poetry sings so much, it's part of my soul. But this whole knowing, when we ask, like, what's my life purpose, or what am I supposed to do, we can get confirmation from other people, always, from other sources, but it's nothing we didn't already know, right? And so sometimes it's really hard because we're looking externally for that information. And I've been there, and I go there sometimes. And I think that that's important to recognize our humanness, because being human's amazingly beautiful. And it's so gorgeous to be human. And I'm so grateful, and I feel so blessed. And sometimes, no, we're not going to always walk our talk because we're in a chrysalis mode. And that is okay. It's okay. Do not beat yourself up. You're an amazing radiant being of light and love. And you have come here to this earth plane. And it is challenging at times. And other times it's joyful. And it's however we choose to interpret and perceive it. And that's okay. It's all wonderful. So, it is such a blessing, isn't it, to be human? It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think sometimes I just think, wow, here we are. This is incredible. Even if I might be crying in that moment and huddled up, under a blanket, or I feel like I want to cocoon myself away, and I'm going to just sit there and cry. I'm going to say how amazing it is as I'm, vibrating through that moment, but I am vibrating through that moment in light. And I say, wow, I moved through that. I did that. Wow. And okay, here we go. Next step. But yeah, I just want you to know you have all the answers within you, every answer within you. And at night when you dream, that can come up, right? Because we do move the conscious mind out of the way. And that's a good time to discover more about yourself, right?
Oh, I know, Jerome, we love you so much. Oh, thank you for answering Nancy's heart in as well. Yeah, this has been, I find myself saying wow to this exchange that we're having right now, and we didn't even really get onto the topic of dreaming, so we may have to have a part two at some point, Melissa. I don't know, but I think we may have to have a part two at some point down the line here. We do have all the answers. Look at that. Jerome wasn't even really here for that part when you were saying that, and he's received that, probably telepathically as well. Oh, Amanda. Oh, thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh. I love so much. I love Melissa. I have a minute left. How can we contact you? How can we find you? What's going on right now as well? Because I know there are so many that love your vibration, that love your frequency, that want to work with you. Do you have any options to work with you right now? Do you have any courses or calls that you want to kind of spotlight right now? What's going on?
Oh, what's going on? So right now, you can email me at awakening@melissavirtue.com. You can find me at melissavirtue8. That's my handle for Instagram right now. YouTube. I do have Melissa Virtue is my website, and I do have offering that you can find there of how I can work with you one-on-one. And it's kind of a pop-up time right now for me where where my offerings are going to just pop up. It's not going to be planned out. I've been told, Source has said, okay, my light team has said, we're just going to spring it on you, and you're going to go, here it is.
Yep.
So it will be divine feminine, masculine union. It will be sacred circle. It'll be sacred ceremony. It could be, but it's going to be children as well. I'm going to keep moving into that children as well, the guardians. And so
wonderful. So if you've not yet visited Melissa's website, do have a look, because she has, she's got priestess initiation activations on there. We've got already on there divine masculine, divine feminine union calls to balance those inner energies. She's got calls on the new children and the guardians, as she's just said. She's got courses, dream interpretation, micro courses, Fae, Atlantis, all this stuff, dream interpretation, certified dream interpreter, all this incredible, vast amount of wealth of wisdom is right there on her website. Have a look, have a browse, see what calls to you, and in the meantime, be sure to be following this wonderful lady on especially on Instagram. But yeah, you go live somewhere else as well. Is it YouTube? But YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, because the content that she provides is just sings on so many levels. But for now, Melissa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, sharing this time. It was so nourishing, and just I feel like my body is singing on so many frequencies right now. So thank you for honoring us all with your love, with your grace, with your radiance and compassion.
Thank you. I heart bow to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's an honor.
I'm just laughing at Jerome's comment, Melissa popping up like a toaster.
I do like a good piece of toast.
Yeah, me too. That might be what's next. So much love. Thank you so much, and we'll see about that part 2 here, Melissa. Bye for now.